Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Points of Articulation. My name's Dave, and if you're new to the channel, welcome everybody. Today I'm looking at the Hot Wheels Star Wars Millennium Falcon, which is part of the Build the Death Star series released in 2019. This vessel made its first on-screen appearance in Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. So ladies and gentlemen, this is the 9th and final addition to the Build the Death Star series, the Millennium Falcon, which represents the rise of Skywalker. Oh boy, if they blow the ship up in the movie, I'm really gonna lose it. Regardless, don't forget, each ship in this series comes with a piece to build your very own miniature Death Star. So stay tuned towards the end of the video when we will complete construction on our miniature battle station. Moving on to the size of this model, it's the same exact mold as the other two Millennium Falcons we've seen thus far, and the size is the same as well, which is just about 3.5 inches long, which is actually really fantastic. So everybody knows how my videos go by now. We're going to take a look at the mold, the paint, put on a stand, compare it to some other vessels, complete our Death Star, and then we'll be done. So let's get moving. So let's get this video started looking at the mold. Just like in all my other videos, I'll go over all the major sections of the item, and we'll get a nice close-up look to see those fine details. So for the major components of the vessel, we have our mandibles, our sensor dish, which looks to be the same exact sensor dish we've seen with the original trilogy version. Looking cool, and yes, it does rotate a little bit, which is nice. It is hindered by the main body right here, but you do have some nice options there for display. Moving forward, we have our cockpit, quad turret, which is the updated mold with the 2 barrels, which I approve of, heat exhaust vents, engine in the aft, which is nicely detailed. Moving around the side, we have our docking rings, which look good, especially on this side. For the bottom, we have 4 rivets holding it together, stand connector port, of course copyright crap, and tons of nicely done detailing. Beautiful job. And finally, we have our entry ramp. All in all, a very nicely done vessel. So now let's get a quick closer look. Alright, for the close-up, I thought we could start at the bottom of the vessel for a change, and you can see this beautiful detailing. Nothing is flat on here. We've seen this tons of times before. Just check that out. Everything is popping up or recessed in, and it looks fantastic. Coming up, of course, we have our 2 rivets, some beautiful paneling and recessed lined work. Fantastic. We have our entry ramp right here. Coming across, our quad turret, which is cut off because of the peg connector port. Just look at that. Fantastically detailed. Coming up to the front of the vessel, we have a little recess here, tons of paneling, which is very nice. Come to this side, look at all that. Beautifully done. And then we have our mandible section, which looks great. Of course, 2 rivets. Copyright crap. Told you it was down here. And then look at this, little pipes, recesses. Nicely done. I think that came out great. Now we also have our cockpit section, which looks alright, but once you turn it around to the top of the vessel, where's the windows? They never molded them. It's always painted windows on there, so now it just looks like a dud. Ugh, what are you going to do? But let's take a look at the sides. Nicely done. I think the detailing on here is very cool. Coming around to the front, you can see it's kind of blonde there. Nothing's there. Then we have all the nice detailing coming down the sides. Beautifully done. We have our docking ring. Looking good. Some people say it's an escape pod, but I've seen escape pods come out of down here too in some diagrams and toys. So I guess it's where you're looking. Nice detail back here. And then we have our molded engine section, We can see it looks great. Fantastically done. Nicely detailed. I always love when you have a bunch of lines and stuff. I like that quite a bit. Then in the back, more detailing. Another docking ring. And then we're back at the cockpit, which looks great. Okay, for the top of the vessel, We could see all the nice detail in here on the mandibles. Looking great. I love all the pipes and modules. Again, nothing is flat. Look at that. Everything's popping up and it looks fantastic in my opinion. Very nice, very beautiful. Coming up the top of the vessel. Again, look at all this detailing and recessing. I know I've seen it and reviewed this ship probably 3 or 4 times, but I just love it. I think it's a great design and very well made on Hot Wheels' part. Here we have our double-barreled quad cannon, looking pretty good. Again, not flat, kind of pops up, which is nice. Let's take a quick look at the top of the cockpit real good. Again, no molding for the windows, but coming down, you can see some beautiful detail in here. Fantastic stuff. In the back of that, very cool. For the sides, again, nice modules here. Very well done. All the paneling and whatnot. Beautiful stuff. Coming to the aft of the ship. Look at all this. Pipes, recesses, modules, raised levels. It's got everything. As you can see here, again, nothing is flat. And it looks great. I love the attention to detail here. Just a fantastic job. We have our heat exhaust vents. Looking good. And then we come back to the engine section. Beautiful. And now real quick, let's take a look at the sensor dish, because I know a lot of people are asking about that. And from what I could tell, it is the same exact dish we've seen before. If I grab my original Millennium Falcon dish, you can see all the details are the same. We have the support rods in the center, little raised rectangles, and that cool little design in the center. So keep that image in your head, because here it is. It's the same exact thing. We have the little design in the center, little supports, that nice design going around, and the raised sections. So that's that. For the back, we have a molded hinge there and a support structure, which looks pretty cool. And if I get the original Falcon in real quick, you can see it's the same exact thing. Which could be a good or bad thing, but what are you going to do, right? So I think that just about covers all the pieces of the Falcon. And that does it for the mold. Hopefully I covered everything. Now, is this ship 100% accurate to what we see on screen? Not really, but the thing is, I like this ship. I like the shape. I like what Hot Wheels did. The mold is beautiful, filled with some exquisite detailing, and I think it's well executed. Having said that, let's take a look at the paint. And now looking at the paint job on the Millennium Falcon, it features one color, just like the whole rest of the series, silver. Now, some of these ships are hit and miss. Some ships look very dull, and some, like this one, reflect light very well. And I have a theory. It seems all the ships that I really love the paint jobs on have a lot of nooks and crannies or paneling. And I think that when the light hits these, it reflects in different ways. It really makes this model shine, as well as the other ones I like, such as the Republic gunship. Has the same exact type of deal. And in my opinion, it looks great. Now, if you've been watching my channel, you know I would love a mirrored finish or chrome. But this isn't bad. And once you have all the ships together in the series, which we'll soon see, it works. It really does, and they look fantastic. So the paint is very nice. I don't see any bubbles, no issues. It looks great. So that does it for the mold and the paint. So now let's put this baby on a stand, compare it to some other vessels, and then we'll finish the Death Star. And just like other Hot Wheels vessels, it comes with a cool stand with the Rebellion/Resistance symbol on there. Peg it into port like so, hear that click. And just like that, everybody, you are good to go. And now for a quick size comparison with the Hot Wheels Star Wars Millennium Falcon from the Build the Death Star series, seen in the center. I have it next to two other Millennium Falcons. Firstly, on the left-hand side, we have the first release Millennium Falcon, which all of them are basically the same, but this one, for the turret, it only has one barrel. I guess you could say it's 4 very close together, but there's only one molded. On the far right-hand side, we have the Force Awakens / The Last Jedi version, which has the rectangle sensor dish, as well as 2 barrels for the quad cannon, which I think is a nice upgrade. For another size comparison with the Build the Death Star series Millennium Falcon seen in the center, on the right hand side we have the Hot Wheels Star Wars Razor Crest from The Mandalorian, a beautiful ship in my opinion. And on the left hand side we have the Star Wars Black Series 6-inch Target exclusive C-3PO. For the final size comparison, here we have every ship in the Build the Death Star series I own to date, which is all of them. Moving left all the way to the right, we have the Naboo Starfighter, Republic Gunship, Jedi Starfighter, Darth Vader's TIE Advanced, Boba Fett's Slave 1, Imperial Speeder Bike, Resistance X-Wing, Kylo Ren's TIE Silencer, and finally, the Millennium Falcon. Now I have to say, I really love what Hot Wheels gave us here. Like, am I a little bummed that they're all repaints? Absolutely. But it isn't really about having new molds or anything for this particular theme. This is just picking one ship from each of the 9 Skywalker Saga films and honoring them with a brand new paint job and a piece to build our very own Death Star. And I think that was an amazing idea. A nice commemorative series to really honor what we all love throughout our lives, no matter what generation you're from. Everything's here, the prequels, the originals, the sequels, and it really brings everything together, and I like it for that. So before moving on to finally finishing our Death Star miniature, I just have to say, if you're interested in seeing any of the ships I showed today, check the links in the description below for previous reviews I've done. For the Millennium Falcon's Death Star piece, we have this odd looking section here. Looking at the interior, we have a giant connector pin to unite the Death Star together, 2 rivets holding it together, a molded 9 for the 9th piece in the series, and some structural supports to make it all hold together nicely once it's constructed. For the top layer, we have the nice polar section. Some people call it the North Pole of the Death Star, others call it the Northern Command Center or Command Station. It's up to you. There's a million names for the different places on the Death Star. But to me, we have some beautiful details here, some nice line work, and I'm not going to spend too much time on this, since we're going to take a lot of time looking at the whole Death Star once it's completed in its own separate video. So that's enough of me yapping. Let's finally finish construction on this Death Star. Now, I'm only going to get one shot at this, so hopefully I get it right. Oh man, it's finally done. Oh, there we go. There's the snap. I had to do this in one take because once this clicks in, that is it. That is all she wrote. And I have to say, I'm blown away to finally have it completed in hand. You know, I'm doing this live with you. I haven't constructed it prior. I love this thing. I think it is beautiful, and I can't wait to review it. So expect a review Thanksgiving week. And that does it today for my review of the Hot Wheels Star Wars Millennium Falcon, which is part of the Build the Death Star series released in 2019. Now for the mold, yes, it's a repaint. There should be no surprises to anyone. Even the dish is the same dish we had from the original Falcon. Having said that though, this model has heart. It may not be 100% accurate. However, the fine details, the paneling, the pipes, the little recesses is amazing. And what really works with this is the paint. The silver goes on there, and it's odd because the way the light reflects off of the angles is amazing, and it really looks great in person. If you see it, check your Walmarts or Targets. They're all over in my area. Check them out because it does look very nice. Don't forget, the ship does come with a stand to make it blend in with the rest of the collection, as well as coming with a piece to build your very own Death Star. And that's everything I have to say about the Falcon today. If you enjoyed my video, click that like button, and if you'd like to see new videos every Thursday, click subscribe. Again, thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it, and I hope to see you next time. Bye, everybody.